You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and today we've got an action-packed show. We're going to touch on some injury updates coming out of Giants training camp. But first, we got to talk about the signal caller, Daniel Jones, and how he's looked in the first 2 weeks of Giants training camp. Jones, he's gotten better every single practice. He got off to a slow start in Giants training camp. Him and Kenny Golladay took some time to build up a rapport. They stayed after practice to get some extra reps in. And then Kenny Golladay went down with a hamstring injury. But Jones didn't stop there. He continued to get better every single day. Last week, he had his best practice of all on Thursday. Didn't have a single incompletion all practice. And today, on Tuesday practice, it was up and down. He threw an interception targeting C.J. Board. He slipped on a timing route, so I'm not going to place too much blame on Daniel Jones. But he was 5 for 7 in 11 on 11 drills, showing that he can bounce back and have a high completion percentage on a full team situation practice. And most importantly, Daniel Jones is stepping into who he can be and being a leader for this Giants football team. Evan Ingram was asked about what he's seen and what he notices as the biggest differences so far in Daniel Jones, and he said this. He's more vocal, more leadership. You can feel his presence, just his assertiveness. When things aren't right, he corrects us. He speaks up. He's taken leadership. His assertiveness has really been on display all of camp. And it's time for Daniel Jones to lead the troops. It's now or never for Jones. It's time for him to step up and be a leader for this New York Giants offense. The sole fate of this New York Giants team is laying on the shoulders of Daniel Jones. The New York Giants are only going to go as far as Daniel Jones will take them. It's time for him to show Giants brass and Dave Gettleman and the Mara family that he can be a franchise quarterback for this franchise. You spend a first-round pick on a quarterback, you need this guy to be your signal caller for the next 10 years, and that's what the Giants were expecting out of Daniel Jones when they selected him out of Duke. But I'm curious because I go back and forth on this all the time. So I want you guys to go and weigh in. Go down in the comments. I'll be down there interacting with you guys. Do you guys believe Daniel Jones can be a franchise quarterback? If you do, go down in the comments and type Y for yes. If you don't, go down in the comments and type N for no. For me, I'm going to go down and type my Y in the comments for this. When you look at his first 2 seasons in the NFL, there was some not so great moments, but there was also some moments where Daniel Jones showed the flashes and the potential of being a franchise quarterback. In his first season in just 13 games, he threw 24 touchdowns. He did have 12 interceptions. And the thing that I was really most upset about Daniel Jones in his rookie year was his fumbles and how often he fumbled the pill. 18 fumbles in your rookie season is just plain out unacceptable. But the thing I like that you obviously saw that Daniel Jones worked on was him holding the ball and being able to hold on to the ball through contact. He cut down his fumbles by 6 in his second year. His touchdown numbers, he cut down his fumble numbers by 7 in his second year. And the thing I was most upset about with Daniel Jones, his lack of attacking the sideline and deep down the field in the passing game. Only 11 passing touchdowns in his second year. But when you look at this Giants skilled depth chart heading into the 2021 NFL season, there is no excuse for Daniel Jones to put up a pedestrian 11 touchdowns again. You have your number 1 wide receiver in Kenny Golladay. You have a playmaker in the slot in Kadarius Toney that you can just flip the ball to and let him go to work. He's a guy that you need to get the ball in space and let him go to work. Saquon Barkley, he's back. He's ready. He's practicing again this week. And that's a guy that's going to take a lot of pressure off of Daniel Jones. Again, you got Evan Ingram, a guy that has looked great in training camp so far, kind of singing that same tune that he always does, getting Giants fans' hopes up. Hopefully this is the year that Evan Ingram balls out and shows why he was a first-round draft pick. And then Sterling Shepard. Everyone has been saying great things about him. He's just been dominating Darnay Holmes when they go up against each other in one-on-ones. And it is time for Daniel Jones to be the guy. There's no more excuses for he doesn't have Saquon Barkley back there. He doesn't have a number 1 wide receiver because simply he does. The time is now for Daniel Jones to show Dave Gettleman and this New York Giants front office that he can be the guy. Because simply put, if he struggles this year, the Giants own 2 first-round draft picks in the 2022 NFL Draft. And if Jones struggles, I could see the Giants packaging those draft picks to trade up to get their next signal caller. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I need you guys to subscribe because more subscribers equals more videos. I want to do more videos, and I know you guys want to watch more videos. The bosses have been on to me. Marsh, we just got to put out more content, but it's reliant on your subscribers. So not only do I need you guys to subscribe, I need you guys to interact with me in these videos. Go down in the comment section, answer my questions. I'll be down there chopping it up with you guys. So subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports to stay in the loop on the latest New York Giants news and rumors. It's day 12, practice number 12 for the New York Giants training camp. And here are my 5 biggest takeaways from this week's practices and training camp and the biggest news that you guys need to stay up to date on. Shane Lemeiux, after suffering a scary knee injury, is back and he's practicing and getting reps with the ones again. This is a huge development for the Giants offensive line, because it's just a unit that has a whole bunch of question marks around it. But following his first 2 practices back, Shane Lemeiux met with the media, and they asked him what it was like to get back onto the practice field, and he went on to say this: "One day at a time. It's good to be back out here with the guys. It's going good. I really enjoy this. I like to practice. I like to work. I want to get better every single day, and I'm just taking it one day at a time. Stuff happens, and I've just been working my butt off to get better every single day." Shane Lemeiux is just a football guy. This is a guy that you want to be on your offensive line. He's a physical road paver for a guy like Saquon Barkley, and the Giants needed Shane Lemeiux to get back out there ASAP, because this Giants offensive line, due to retirements and some more injuries that we'll touch on later, needs to step up this year and show that they can protect Daniel Jones, and getting Shane Lemeiux back is the first step in that process. Next on our Giants things to look for and look out for on Giants training camp is Nate Solder left practice Tuesday with an apparent shoulder injury. He ran off the field pointing at his shoulder. There's no official report on this, and it didn't seem too serious, but it's something that everyone should know about and slightly be concerned about, because when you look at this Giants offensive line depth chart, we are slim on bodies. 2 retirements already in camp and a couple injuries. And this Giants offensive line, there's just not as many bodies as it needs to be. Nate Solder was going to be that veteran presence that could slide in if Matt Parrott struggled or got hurt. And the same for Andrew Thomas. So Nate Solder, he needs to get back healthy and be a part of this Giants offensive line to show these young tackles how to be NFL vets. I want to know what you guys think about this, so be honest. Do you believe in the Giants offensive line? It seems like since Dave Gettleman has taken over as the Giants general manager, every offseason we get fed by the media saying that this Giants offensive line is going to be better, they're going to be better than they ever were, and they're going to be able to protect Daniel Jones. But that just hasn't been the case since Dave Gettleman took over and said he was going to get a whole bunch of hog mollies to beef up this offensive line. So I'm going to ask you guys, do you believe in the Giants offensive line? If you do, go down in the comments and type A for you're all in on this offensive line. Or go down in the comments and type O for I'm out. Number 3 on our list, Kenny Golladay. He suffered a hamstring injury last week at training camp practice, but to start this week, Monday and Tuesday, he's been working on the side with the jug machines, getting his hands up to speed, and working with trainers, which is a huge sign for the Giants. Zach Rosenblatt reported that he may even be a participant in joint practices next week for the Cleveland Browns, and as a Giants fan, that's just something that you love to hear, because Golladay, the prized possession of the NFL offseason for the Giants, getting Daniel Jones, finally that number 1 wide receiver. We need him out there, and Daniel Jones, he needs him out there. So the fact that he's already back working on the side and getting up to speed and maybe even participating next week in joint practice is a great sign for the New York Giants. Some more receiver news. John Ross has been a standout so far at Giants training camp. I know everyone's seen the clip where he caught the slant route and he left James Bradbury in the dust, kind of giving that reminiscent look of OBJ. But now he's suffering with another injury, just something that's derailed his career so far out of Washington. And this time, it's a hamstring injury. He left Monday's practice with it. And when you look at this projected Giants wide receiver depth chart, although a John Ross injury doesn't hurt them too much, they are running thin at this position. Golladay's out. John Ross is out. But this is opening more reps for a guy like David Sills or Dante Pettis or CJ Board or Alex Mack to show that show the Giants coaches and Joe Judge and Jason Garrett that they believe and can show that they deserve to be on this Giants 53-man roster. And I want to know what you guys have to think about John Ross. He's made some explosive plays so far in training camp, but do you think he's going to make this final 53-man roster? If you do, go down in the comments and type K for keep. Or if you think he's going to be a camp cut and not make this 53-man roster, go down in the comments and type C for cut. Lastly on our list is Kadarius Toney. He obviously missed the first couple of practices at training camp due to being on the COVID list, the COVID-19 reserve list, wasn't able to practice, but he's bounced back and he has done everything that the coaches have asked for so far when he's been able to practice. So much so that Joe Judge kind of gave him an off day, almost a load management type of day at practice today, and Joe Judge was asked what it's like to have Kadarius Toney back out there. He said this. He's ramping up. He's doing more and more. I see a guy who's doing a good job taking from the meeting room to the field. He's been really good in terms of transferring the material, but then the details within the assignment. This guy really does love football. Shows up and his energy on the field, the way he smiles and goes about it, it's exciting for us, and it's exciting for every New York Giants fan because Kadarius Toney is the type of player that the Giants have been missing since Odell Beckham was traded to the Cleveland Browns. Kadarius Toney is the type of receiver that whether it's a slant route, a drag route, a screen route, or a jet sweep where Daniel Jones is just pitching the ball in front of him, you need to get this guy the ball in open space, and he is going to make great things happen for this Giants offense. So to have him back out there and being ramped up to speed and Joe Judge singing the praises of Kadarius Toney is a blessing for New York Giants fans. And I'm curious, I'm not sure what to expect from Kadarius Toney, but I'm hoping he can at least maybe be a 40 to 50 catch guy, 600 to 700 yards, maybe 5 to 8 touchdowns. But I want to know what you guys think and are expecting from Kadarius Toney as a rookie season. So go down in the comments and let me know. Project his stat line, if you will. I'll be down there replying to comments, and let's talk some more New York Giants football. And if you want to talk even more New York Giants football, follow me on Twitter. I'm a diehard New York Giants fan. I was born in New York, raised in Houston, but I bleed New York Giants blue. My dad, he's a New Yorker. He was born and bred there, but there is no reason why I wouldn't root for this New York Giants team. I bleed New York Giants blue. So follow me on Twitter, send me a DM, or follow me or mention me. Ask me anything you want to know about this New York Giants team, and I will do my best to get back at you and answer all your questions. And subscribe to the channel. We're at the threshold of officially, as my bosses say, becoming a real YouTube channel. So help me out. Subscribe to New York Giants now so we can make more videos on the latest New York Giants news and rumors.